Alright, hey everyone. We should be live on YouTube, hopefully, if this connected properly. As last week we had a little bit of some hiccups on that. But anyway, with no further ado, welcome to Four Guys with Quarters Presents a Variant Podcast, episode number 3. And today we have special guest, Zpci Assassin. What's up, buddy?
Yay, I'm special. What does he say, special guest? So yay, I'm a special person. Hi, I should be saying also.
And we have the amazing Captain Maverick. What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? You doing all right today?
Yep, can't complain. I figured, it's been a big week for Star Wars, as we all know. Everybody's upset about the game getting canceled, and, what is it, Knights of the Old Republic 3 not even happening because EA, totally threw that off the table.
Jeez.
So, yeah, there's nobody better than Assassin to talk about this stuff. And, the dude is, the Sith Lord of all Sith Lords of Star Wars. You know what I mean?
I don't think that is true. We all know EA is a Sith Lord because they're mean and total assholes.
I don't know, man. The Sith at least built the Death Star. They can't build nothing as far as the game comes.
That is true. But EA is good at destroying things, and the Death Star was pretty good at destroying things.
Jesus, I can't believe this is. How do you ruin a franchise this much? You're given the license to kill, and you decide to go to the store instead. Jesus.
No.
They just, it's just, I had faith. It's like, okay, they gave it to EA. They'll have a little blunders, but they'll turn it out in the end. And every single time we hear news, it's just bad news. They made 2 crappy shooters, and that's it. That's all we got. LucasArts made what? 20 games in the period they've had the license, and they can't make anything other than 2 crappy shooters.
Well, to be fair, games these days take a lot, maybe not as long, but longer to make because, all these things that people need to have in a game, and everyone's so picky compared to 10 years ago, right? Where you could almost rehash things and update them a little bit, like Star Wars Battlefront, for instance. Great game. Not going to throw any hate towards the old ones, but a portion of that game was the same as the second one. It has a portion of the game from the first. Hoth and all that other stuff is just rehashed. So I don't know.
I just, at least one other game. There's no excuse. They had plenty of opportunity. They could have bought some of the other franchises that people were working on Star Wars. They just have done nothing.
They could have brought what was that really amazing game? Republic 13, Commando.
Oh yeah, that one.
1313 was, I think, looked very well when it showed. But Republic Commando, I think if you asked any Star Wars fan that's played the old games, I think that's one of them that would be coming up. Besides Battlefront and KOTOR, is Republic Commando. Either make a sequel or reboot it or do something. It was a great game. It was very, you could have co-op. That would be awesome. Some multiplayer, get Respawn on it. They made Call of Duty. That's a good Call of Duty game, Republic Commando. But, not obviously Call of Duty.
Right.
But, they had the experience with those type of games.
Shoot, I wish they would have made a new Shadows of the Empire. That was my favorite Star Wars game of all time, other than KOTOR, but that's obvious.
And they're also sitting on a game that I think BioWare is still working on, the Old Republic. Bring that to console. They're still doing stuff to it. And it's free to play. Bring it to consoles. People spend microtransactions after microtransactions, and it's not that bad of a game. I think.
I don't like MMOs myself, but I'm sure other people would like it.
ESO I think is still doing pretty well. I think a game like this will definitely bring that kind of crowd.
Yeah, that's a good point that you make on that. Imagine if they did have a living kind of like games as a service Star Wars world like ESO. I think it would do really well.
Nope, and that's the older product for you. It just needs to come to console. I don't get it why it's not here already. It's an old game. I mean, it's been out I don't know how many years, and I think there's a good player base still on it. I haven't been on in years because my computer is absolutely terrible, but I mean, my computer can run it, so.
You know, both of you guys are gonna think I'm ridiculous, but the only Star Wars game I ever played was the one on the Super Nintendo.
Which one was that?
I think it was called Super Star Wars.
Wait,
Isn't
wait,
that
wait,
on
wait,
the
wait.
PS4? Superstar
They
Wars?
they released it on the PS4, but it was on the Super Nintendo. Wait, so you never played KOTOR?
No, and I think you even had an extra code that you gave me like a long time ago. And
Yeah, I did.
I still never played it.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore. Jesus, man, this is 2 weeks in a row. You destroyed my heart. Oh, dude, KOTOR 1 and 2. Like, yes, KOTOR 2 was rushed, but God, you got to play those games, man. You've got to just throw everything out of the window and just focus on those games. I mean, they're on the Xbox. You have no excuse now. They're backwards compatible.
And their Xbox One X enhanced.
Yep. I mean, you have no excuse. You need to throw everything else to the wind, and you need to focus on those games, and you will not regret it.
Hold on, did you guys replay those on Xbox One?
Yep, I did twice.
No, I don't even know, I don't know if it's an EA access, but
I owned them already, so I didn't. I don't know if they are or not.
I don't. Unfortunately, I don't own them. I have which one is it? I have one of them right here. Let me grab it. I forget which one it is, but I bought the Star Wars: The Best of PC. It came with like 5 games. Oops, I jumped to Yoda. Which one is it? Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic on PC, and I didn't get far, but because I was younger when I played this, I need to go back. But it was good.
You both need to focus up and play KOTOR 1. At least 1. 2, yes, 2 was rushed. It had a lot of bugs. It had some stuff you have to work around, but at least play 1. 1 was in my top 10 favorite games of all time. It is just an immaculate game.
Does it?
I've played through that thing so many times. Yes, it holds up.
Are you sure it holds up? Assassin, does it hold up?
I haven't played it in like many years. Probably what years? Probably like 5 years. But on the PC, it looked pretty solid. I mean, Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PC still looks very good.
Do you have a problem going back and playing Dragon Age Origins?
Me?
Yeah.
Dragon Age Origins. Is that the one that came out for Xbox One?
No.
No, that's the first Dragon Age. I'm trying to think of like something, if those graphics don't bother you, these graphics aren't going to bother you. And the story is so good, you're not going to be bothered by the graphics. I mean, they're a little clanky here and there, but overall they're really not bad. And the fighting is fine. And like it's so like the old Dragon Age where you just input what attacks you want to do and your character does them. You don't have to constantly press the A button or the trigger. So you can literally set up your next 5 attacks, put the controller down, eat a bite of your sandwich while your character is attacking, and then pick it up and set your next controls. And then you go explore. You go find your companions. You go choose dark side, light side. Do you want to focus lightsabers? Do you want to be blasters? Do you want to what color? You get to build your own lightsaber. You get to choose, is it, like a Darth Maul both-sided? Is it what color is it? What focus and Jedi are you going to be? I mean, it's so in-depth. You've got to go back and you've got to play that game, man. Oh, I'm heartbroken here.
I never even played the other Dragon Ages either, so I couldn't tell you if that's gonna, hold up for me graphics wise. But I did go back and I played that. What is that called? Rogue Squadron from the GameCube or something. I played that recently.
That was a good game.
I love what I didn't play it on the GameCube. I played on the N64, and that's still one of my favorite games from the N64.
Yeah, you guys are not gonna like me then because I shut it off after 3 minutes.
Oh, then we'll just shut you off.
Well, this has been Four Guys with Quarters Presents. This will be our last show. Jesus, man. That's your goal. That is your goal now. You have to play KOTOR 1. Dude, I will buy it for you if you will freaking sit down on that Xbox and play it. That is my goal. I will buy it for you if you will sit down and beat the entire game. That's the challenge. Everybody's hearing it. Here's the challenge. He doesn't have to pay for the game. I'll pay for it if he will play it and beat it.
Wait, what game are we talking about? Because there's so many.
KOTOR 1. KOTOR 1.
Yeah, Xbox One.
I will buy it for you if you will sit down and play it and beat it.
Wait,
that's the challenge. I'm setting a challenge for you.
KOTOR 1's on Xbox One?
Yep.
Oh, you mean the original OG Xbox game, right? Went back compatible
right.
or something? Oh, yeah, I did get that. I got the game, but I haven't played it.
Well, then you need to play it.
I saw somebody stream some of it, and I got a little confused because I thought that the graphics in the background were kind of, how should I say this? Not detailed. I thought it was kind of plain. But, in its defense, I think a lot of graphics back then were kind of plain. Even, the older Halos were kind of plain if you were to...
Yeah, they're kind of like set stages, and the world kind of moves around them. Which, I mean, you're going to get because it's an old original Xbox game. You're not getting an Xbox One game, but you're playing it for the story and to experience it and to get that awesome ending that I don't want anyone to spoil it because he hasn't played a 20-year-old freaking game. But you just have to play it. It's got an ending that you'll just be like, what the?
No.
Well, I'll have to go back and check it out then, but... Yeah, I just hope that it's a little bit more detailed than Rogue Squadron because in that game, I was flying around and I was like...
Well, I mean, that's the point of Rogue Squadron, right? You're like an X-Wing or Y-Wing or whatever, and you're flying and shooting things. You're not wielding lightsabers in an X-Wing. That just doesn't make sense. I mean, it could happen. Don't get me wrong. But...
I mean, there was no R2-D2 hanging out in the back. Well, maybe I didn't get far enough because it was 3 minutes, but...
Well, I believe the first mission was to blow up the Death Star, if I remember correctly. So you were Luke Skywalker, or 2D2 was in, right behind you the whole time.
Are you sure? Because I don't remember that being the first mission. Maybe I shut it off even before I got to the mission then. So does that count? Does that count?
No.
I mean, does it count you eating pizza if you just stare at it? You're not eating a pizza if you just stare at it.
I do take off the pepperoni sometimes.
That's still not eating it. You're touching it. I mean, same thing.
Unless you're a plant, that doesn't count as eating.
Right.
Well, and KOTOR, it's got some of the greatest companions. Like HK-47 is still one of the best companions in all of gaming. And you can ask anybody who played the game. He's a sarcastic ass, and you will get along with him very well.
Who is that guy? Never heard of him.
He's just in that game. He's a robot.
Huh. Is there any C-3PO?
There's this is way before the actual movies, so no one in this game is going to be in the movies.
Damn. There goes all hope for humanity. Because, I really like the R2-D2, the C-3PO, Chewbacca, Han Solo.
Well, I mean,
I know, but
those type of robots.
Like HK-47 is an assassin droid. You have your interpreter droids, you have your Jedis, you have your C-3POs, there's a Wookiee companion. Like, you've got companions that fit the races. You just don't have those certain people because this is long before they even existed.
Well,
dude,
now that I'm a little bit lost in the Star Wars universe because I don't know it as well as you guys, but thinking about a sequel to Knights of the Old Republic or something to come out now, or even like a remake, who would you guys want to make a game like that?
Yeah. Your first thing that comes to mind is obviously BioWare, and they were turned down for the job, unfortunately. I still think they could do it. I still think that would be excellent. But if you're looking for someone completely new, what about you, Assassin?
Well, if it's an RPG game like KOTOR, I would think CD Projekt Red.
That would be great.
I think they would do a great job. But as for other people, I mean, you got Obsidian, but they were just acquired by Microsoft. So I mean, I don't think they would make one be exclusive. I don't think Disney would like that. And then Bethesda. I mean, they do a lot of RPGs, but they have a formula, and I don't know if it would work well.
Yeah, I don't know if it would work well in their formula, but like I said, I think they could handle it. It would be completely outside their normal realm, but I think they can handle it. But yeah, CD Projekt Red easily would probably be number one. I agree with that, obviously, right off the bat. I don't think you could find someone better than that off the top of your head that would make a RPG that would span hundreds of hours and completely enthrall you the way they would.
See, yeah. I would think, in my opinion, right, I would think that Bethesda would be great to make a Star Wars game. I say this because, I mean, we all know that they're not graphically insane like some of the games today, but they can certainly build a world with quest after quest that would be kind of fun, I would think.
Right, but I disagree on the fact that, like, I'm like the number one Bethesda fan. Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, I love Fallout 76. I mean, I just love Bethesda. But their games aren't story driven. Their games are exploration driven and item driven. And, can you go find this monster, kill this guy, complete this quest, complete that quest. But you don't, at the end of it, the story isn't like something that makes you drop out of your seat and like, oh my God, did that actually happen? That's what you want from a KOTOR game. A KOTOR game, you want a story that just hooks you from the start. And yeah, you've got the other stuff, but the story, like, once you play KOTOR 1, you'll see at the end of it, you're like, oh my God, did that just happen? There's no way. Like, you don't get that from a Bethesda game. Yeah. You don't get this moment of just clarity where, like, holy crap, this whole time this was this, and oh my God. You just, their games are great. I love them, but they're not story driven. And I think you would need that from a Star Wars game.
Nope.
So you don't think Skyrim had a good story?
I think Skyrim had a story, but I couldn't give two rats about it. The game itself is what I enjoyed. Like, I fought a dragon, but then, dude, I explored and I went under the water and I killed this creature and I became the number one person in the the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood, and that's what's cool. It's not their actual main story that does anything for you. It's these little side things that get you, but Star Wars would be about the main story.
No.
I don't know, though, because I really, Skyrim was like a story that knocked me off my seat. I really? Yeah, dude, I love the story. I love the ending. I love the choices. So, like, I'm thinking maybe you can go good or bad in Star Wars. Maybe there's a turning point in the game where a quest could turn you into, like, one of the Sith, or you could follow the Jedi Order, Like, there could be a twist where, kind of like Skyrim had a twist, right?
Right. I guess. I mean, yeah.
I mean, what do you think, Assassin?
Well, so my Skyrim knowledge for the main story is kind of lacking. I beat it years ago, the story. And when I played the remaster, I've been doing side things. So the only thing I really remember is, it's just the experiences, like Sea of Thieves, right? There isn't a story, but I mean, Skyrim has a story, but the experiences you have. So, like, when I played Skyrim on 360, I tried adopting a child, but instead I accidentally Fusrodad, the orphanage lady. So those are the things, like, I remember, or fighting dragons. I don't fully remember the story, but it's just, like Fusrodad and the orphanage lady, or stealing things and killing dragons, like. All those, like, experiences are what I think Skyrim is more fun. I don't play, Skyrim for the story type.
See, I'm with you. Like Morrowind, that's one of my favorite games ever. I couldn't tell you much about the story. It's just the exploration and the stupid things you get into. That's where I said it. The story's never been a thing for me for them. Two thoughts I had. Rockstar would be kind of interesting, and Naughty Dog would be kind of interesting to see their take on a Star Wars RPG.
Naughty Dog would be absolutely fantastic for their game. Because, I mean, the last two games, Uncharted, well, I guess three. Uncharted, both of the games, and then The Last of Us were, I think, one of the best games I've played.
I'd like to see their take on, like, an open world RPG, kind of like expand that into, like, a Star Wars game. Like, say if you give them KOTOR and they took their time and turned that into, like, a full-fledged RPG, I think that would be really interesting.
See, I don't know if they, like, going an RPG would be, like, their thing, because, like, their past games have been linear, story-driven, just games, right, with not mediocre, but not great, like, combat. Like, like Uncharted 4, right? I'm not going there to play the multiplayer, shoot a bunch of bad guys. I'm there for, I mean, the game looks absolutely fantastic and a fantastic story. And I think with their resources that they have, Disney should allow them to do it. I think they would do a great adventure game, not maybe an RPG game.
I feel like they could make a good KOTOR or Mass Effect style game where those are RPGs, but they're not so much as open world. Like in Mass Effect or KOTOR, you had a story, you had a mission, you had little side things you could do. You can go explore if you want to, but the main focus was the story. Like kind of give them like, hey, here's your story, but make it bigger. Like, hey, if you want to go to this planet and do these missions first, or this planet do these missions first, but it all leads towards the same story that you're playing constantly. Kind of, like there's a difference between a Skyrim and a Mass Effect. Like, both are quote unquote open world, but Skyrim you could play for 40 hours and never touch the main story. Mass Effect, your open world stuff opens up as you do the main story. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like they could focus on that style more if they did like a KOTOR where like play the main story and then a few side quests open up around the world and you go do those, and then you can do a little bit more story and like kind of like the Mass Effect does. I think they could do that pretty well.
Yeah, I know I think it was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It was almost similar as the structure, not exactly as Mass Effect, but I mean it had pretty much what you said. And I believe, don't quote me on this, that some Naughty Dog people worked on Infinite Warfare story. So I mean there is a chance, but I don't know, because all I'm seeing with like Naughty Dog is like The Last of Us and Uncharted. It's not like Mass Effect. So I mean they could potentially do it, but the way I'm seeing Naughty Dog is, I guess, totally different.
What about go ahead.
I was gonna say, shout out to the chat. We have a couple people in here, Daz, with the teasing the petition, and then we got Siberia. Shout out to Siberia and Born Distracted. And Born Distracted actually brought up a good studio. He said, "Who made Fable?" And it's Lionhead. They would do a fantastic job, but unfortunately,
if they're still here,
unfortunately, Lionhead was kind of like disbanded by Microsoft over Fable Legends. So the chance of them ever coming back to a full studio is slim to none. But some of them are still out there making games at other places, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to have some of those guys come in to help another studio out make a game like this. I mean, what do you guys think? Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, I love Fable. I think they could be good. I think you would need to, the story I think they'd be fine on. I think you would need to find some people to kind of expand the world. Because like Fable 3 was their last thing, and the world was kind of, it was there. But, if they found like some capable world building people, I think that would work out really well. Because I love their story and their art and stuff.
That goes into then the initiative, right? Microsoft's new studio, whatever they made. They're hiring like all these different people from like Batman, Arkham Knight. I think they just got a person who made the environments or something of God of War. They got some other people from like great games. Like there's potential, for them to make a good Star Wars game just from the people that they have. I mean, sure. They could be the people that they could have hired could have been the worst people out of those devs. I don't know. I hope not. I think that they have whatever they did. It was probably great. I mean, the God of War and Batman Arkham Knight were absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, we'll see what that comes from them. But if they weren't from Microsoft and they just had this team, like they could make a great Star Wars game.
What about Rockstar, like a Red Dead Star Wars game?
See, I as much as everyone says Red Dead's great, like Red Dead's a good game, right? So is GTA 5, but they're not. They're. I guess I'm not seeing Star Wars in their future because they just have something. I can't put my finger on it, but something about Rockstar just does not make me think that they'll do something great.
You don't really want to go to like a space cantina and then just like decide you want to like play a game of Bazak and then pull out your lightsaber and stab the guy across from you. I mean, that just doesn't sound awesome to you.
I mean, yeah, some of the things that like they have in their games are great, but like Rockstar has that, like, you know, like with GTA, right? They like to have, you know, all that weird stuff, and same thing with, like, yeah, it's just like the way they make their games. I don't know if Disney would particularly like that type of thing, so I feel like they would have to go out of their norm to make a Star Wars game.
To be fair, though, guys, I mean, KOTOR 2 came out February 2005. I mean, I know they take a long time to make their games, but we're not getting one any faster anywhere else. So,
well, we're supposed to get a Star Wars game this year, an extremely rushed Star Wars game next year. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, you know, I have no faith anymore. Like, I had huge faith in EA to make this stuff, and oh god, it's turned to a giant hellhole. It's turned into a Sarlacc pit of, like, Star Wars. I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah, I think if Respawn makes a terrible Star Wars game, I think it's going to be really bad for EA for that license.
This could be their you know, their swan song. If they destroy this entire Star Wars, you know, license, they could be in trouble. This is a lot of fans that are extremely pissed off.
Yeah, no.
You know,
what about?
I was gonna say, Born Distracted did bring up a very good point. If Rockstar was to make something like this, it would take them probably way too long because they're perfectionists when it comes to their stuff, and it'd probably be really violent compared to what Disney would want. I mean, heads would be flying with those lightsabers, huh?
That would be great.
I think, it's about time we have a game where we have a lightsaber that would cut, like, a stormtrooper in half, and you would see two halves of a stormtrooper. You don't see, like, the little, like, mark. Like, they just skim the top of their armor, so it just makes a gash, but it doesn't, like, cut them in half. Like, I want to see their heads just, like, flying.
Are you telling me if they come up to EA and you just all of a sudden, like, see this guy walking down, like, and like walking in a cantina, and you hear that Star Wars, that lightsaber go zing, and all of a sudden you just see, like, light, and he just, like, splits in half? You're telling me that the place would erupt into, holy crap, what do we have here? What is this? What game do we have? Like, that's what we want. We want, like, we grew up with Star Wars. We're all adults now. We want an adult Star Wars game, like a giant RPG where we can do what we want. I mean, oh yes.
Yeah, I think it's time we need, like, a darker, like, tone Star Wars game. That would, because there's potential to do, like, a horror movie of Star Wars. There was, I don't know if you watched, like, the Clone Wars animated TV series that's coming back, but they had one, I forget the name, but it was like some, like, worm that was on Geonosis that, like, brainwashed, I think, some clone troopers and stuff like that. Like, that would be cool to have, like, brainwashing and all this, like, ghosts, like Jedi ghosts, where, you know, they become mean and they can haunt people. That'd be cool.
So what you think, Clowns? Who do you want to make this? You just stuck with Bethesda, or do you have anybody else you want to throw out there?
Man, you know, since Born Distracted brought up Lionhead, I would really want to get the Lionhead team back together and give it to them. And I'm a big fan of the way they tell their stories. I even like Fable 3, which a lot of people did not like, and I loved it. So I guess that would be my choice for sure. Definitely Lionhead.
So KOTOR 3 Chicken Chaser, is that what you're going for?
Hey, why not? Maybe Han Solo finds a chicken and he's got to, sell that thing for the golden egg or something. So, what is this upcoming Star Wars game, Assassin? Is there any upcoming Star Wars games?
Yeah, Star Wars, oh my god, what was it called? I'm going to have to look this up. For some reason, I cannot think of the name all of a sudden. Come on, Google.
Yeah, normally kept up, but after, like, the last, like, 20 times being disappointed, I just quit paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
Just sad.
It was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. All we know is it's after Episode 3 and before 4. So, I mean, it has potential to be a great game because, you're probably most likely going to be a Jedi, and the Empire's trying to hunt you down, after the Order 66, happens. So I mean, it has potential. Or it could be the other way around. You're a stormtrooper trying to hunt Jedi, which I think would be a lot cooler game. Because like in Star Wars Battlefront 2, there was that mission right when Order 66 happened. You went in the Jedi temple or whatever and just started killing Jedi. Like I thought that was so much fun. I would purposely fail that mission just to kill more Jedi. It was, so I hope we kill Jedi in the game.
Yeah, I would think that would be a great twist. I would definitely love to play more along the line. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was a Boba Fett game, right, on the PlayStation?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it's on the PS4 at the moment. Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, I would love for the new game to be based around Boba Fett or somebody in his family or lineage or
Well, the game that got canceled, you could have been. It was there's two options. It was Bounty Hunter or something else. I totally forget, but like you were supposed to go to different planets and do things and whatever. And that, like we said it on the podcast before, it was going to be a great game and an interesting game. And EA's like, nope, we don't like fun. We just want money.
Yeah, I mean, who's making the new one? It's
Respawn.
Is it Respawn? Yeah. I'm so tired of these first-person shooter games. Like, I get it.
Who knows
Give me an
if
RPG.
it's going to be a first-person shooter?
I mean,
it's most likely with Respawn's history with the Call of Duty series,
right.
Medal of Honor, and now Titanfall and stuff like that. It's going to most likely be a shooter, but
it's just going to be a shooter. Like, I am so tired of these shooters. Like, bro, give us an RPG. Like, this isn't that hard. If you want a shooter, there's a billion of them out there. Don't ruin my Star Wars by turning into another freaking shooter.
Yeah, but I mean, RPGs take a while to make, right? Because you have to make choices.
Good.
But EA is canceling all these games that take like longer than 2 years to make. It's
right,
like
and how's it working out for them?
Years. It's not working out great at all.
So stop doing that. I would rather you shut up, not announce anything for like 5 years, and then let us know, hey, by the way, this is almost done, and it's a giant Star Wars RPG. Then you be like, oh, we'll get you a game in like a year. It's going to be like a Titanfall with AT-ATs. Oh, okay, I don't really care, but okay.
Yeah, but EA just wants that easy money because we all know Star Wars. They're going to put out Episode 9, it's just going to print money, right? And they want because everyone's going to be hyped for Episode 9. So when Respawn puts out their Star Wars game, everyone's going to be on that high for a Star Wars thing. And so they're just going to take advantage of Episode 9 instead of making a good game.
Born Distracted had a question in the chat. He said, or she said, I'm not sure who you are, Born Distracted, but shout out to you. Do you think the new Star Wars series, The Mandalorian, was inspired by the canceled 1313 game?
The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I probably pronounced that wrong. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. I'd say no, just because we don't know much about Star Wars 1313 other than that awesome trailer we had. But, I mean, it very well could be.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they just wanted a story. What does it take place after 6 and before 7? So
I think it's after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order. So yeah it's like right there in that midst.
Yeah, I think 1313 was what was it? The Clone Wars or the Galactic Empire?
Yeah,
but either way, it was in Coruscant below. Where all the gangs and stuff, like what we would have. Stuff like what we would see in Solo, like with all the gangs and and stuff that.
I think this is their attempt to make a Boba Fett for the new generation. That's what I feel it is. I think it's their attempt to, because you ask any Star Wars fan that's our age, hey, what's your favorite character? 90% of us are going to say, dude, Boba Fett, he's awesome. Because he had like one line and he was just awesome and then he died. But he was just cool. Like everything about him was just cool. I think this is just their attempt to make a Boba Fett for the new generation. I Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I just think it's sort of I don't want to say a ploy, but I think they're trying to put a story with, since Boba Fett didn't have a story, they're trying to take a Mandalorian and add a story to it. But we'll see.
Well, the Clone Wars TV series, I know I go back to that a few times, went into Boba Fett's life as like a younger guy, past when after his dad died. And
Right.
I mean, it was interesting. Not as much detail as we would probably want, but I think need just to make a Boba Fett movie. And I don't think it was confirmed, but I think it was canceled or whatever because of Solo, and the person who's running the Star Wars movies is absolute ass at doing it. But that's just my opinion. And and I don't know where I'm going with this, but I think we need more Boba Fett things, like, because everyone does like him. And
see, I'm coming from an outskirt here. I did not watch the Clone Wars cartoon. Yeah, it didn't appeal to me. But I'm personally okay. I wasn't a big fan of these one-off movies, like the Solos, this, that, and the other. Like, I don't need one-off movies. I got my Star Wars movies. I was actually okay before they made all the other ones.
Well, with Solo, like, it has potential to have like sequels. Like, I know you didn't watch it, so I'm not going to spoil it. But at, like, the end of the movie, it had like it just opened up for like a Solo 2 or whatever, or a different movie. Maybe not with Solo, but because it just, I don't know, it ended very well with. Not going to spoil it because it does.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. It's on my Netflix queue. I had surgery this week. Well, I won't call it surgery. I had something I had to get done this week, and I just hadn't had a chance to get to it. But it's on my list.
So it's definitely a must watch if you like Star Wars. If you don't, well, I mean, we wouldn't be talking right now if you weren't, but but it's definitely a watch, especially if you just skip to the end, like last like half hour, just to see things.
So who shot first, Han Solo or Greedo?
I want to say Greedo, but
no, Han shot first.
I know,
are you kidding me? No,
people say it's Han, but I'm
Han.
one of those believers where I think Greedo shot first.
No, Han shot first.
No,
I guarantee you, Clowns does not have an opinion on this.
I do, because actually, my dad back in the day bought the VHS tapes, the double VHS tape that I think it was made by Fox at the time. I think it was like released, was it 1979, 1980? I don't know, somewhere like early like that. But yeah, in the tape, Han Solo shot first.
Boom!
But didn't one of the many versions of Star Wars that they put out, didn't they make purposely?
You can't count one of these many. Yes, they changed it because they don't want Han Solo to be a violent guy. But you can't add all these stupid. I mean, I can't even watch the new variations of Star Wars because of how bad Jabba the Hutt looks. I mean, I can't do it.
Every time I think of Jabba the Hutt, I think of Pizza the Hut from
Yep.
Spaceballs.
Yep.
I think, it'd be funny if a fan imposed Pizza the Hut on Jabba the Hutt in all the Star Wars films. So you see, like, Pizza the Hut sitting there.
I would be surprised, because you can have mods on Star Wars Battlefront 2 on PC. You can't just take them, online or you get banned. I would be surprised if there's not a Pizza the Hut, like, mod for, like, a hero. Because people make them all different kinds. I think there was Count Dooku before Dooku came, I think, like, yesterday. So.
Man, I would have to see that for sure. That's something I would really, really want to see. I don't know if you guys know this or not. I might have mentioned it on our regular podcast last week briefly, but this guy at my GameStop over here, he's a huge, huge Star Wars fan. And what he likes to do is he likes to collect like foreign Star Wars films in other countries with the subtitles, just because he wants to see like how it's translated and subtitled. And in one of the Star Wars movies, where the what was it? He said like the X-wings or whatever were going after the TIE fighters. I forget the scene in the movie said, but they said something about use the Force, and in China, apparently, according to him, the Force or any superstitious activities against the People's Republic of China or whatever they call it over there. So they changed it to Presbyterian Church in the subtitles. So they had to stop, allegedly, according to him. You know, this is kind of like hearsay, second person, whatever. But according to him, he said that the movie made it sound like they were stopping the Presbyterian Church from infiltrating. And I hate to say this, but I could believe that, because
I mean, it is China.
Yeah, because they're very strict on their communication and all that stuff. So I could definitely believe it.
That's ridiculous.
But now I want to go find that film. I got to ask him again next time I see him because I want to see this.
Yep.
So if you could have any video game based solely on one character from the Star Wars universe, and what genre game is it? Who is it based on? What's the genre? Who's your person you're going to?
So is it? Can we pick any characters that games are already based on, like Boba Fett, or has it got to be somebody different?
Nope, it could be whatever you want.
Oh God.
So many good characters.
Yep, that's why it's a question, because there's not an easy answer to that.
All right, I got something that's going to throw you guys off on that question, Maverick. How about a Chewbacca movie, right, or Chewbacca game, based like in a Leisure Suit Larry type of way, where he's got to go around and find mates?
What is wrong with you clowns?
No, I would just want to imagine what he would say to them. Like, what would his pickup line be? I mean, could we imagine?
Isn't Chewbacca married or something? Like, I don't think that would work.
Didn't his wife pass away or something in the series? Or he's the last of his species or something? I thought
his species was enslaved.
Siberia said he would pick Chewie. Born Distracted said he would pick Count Dooku, action adventure RPG.
Dooku. Count Dooku.
Daz says he kind of agrees with you, Maverick. He asked the same question about clowns.
Well, I just can't blame him. I mean, something's wrong with you, man.
Assassin, what would you pick? I know you're a huge fan, so
I've been thinking. I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's so many good characters, but I mean, I would just like to have a game with just purely around the clones. Like, I love clone troopers and stormtroopers. I just love, right? And I don't know. I would just like to have another game which is about the clones, like Republic Commando. Like, maybe not like an FPS, but just another clone game. I don't know.
I think a Darth Maul action RPG would be kind of cool. Like, you got to level them up and get to play the bad side. The old, not like Force Unleashed sort of, but more open world. Like, you just, you can get your job, like you said earlier, is to like go hunt down Jedis. And so sort of, I don't know, I think that would be kind of cool. Use that as a premise. Darth Maul, get to hunt down, level up your ship, get places faster. The kind of like the Jedis are certain levels, so you can't take some of them on right away. If you try, you'll get annihilated. You got to level up your Darth Maul by taking out smaller ones, taking out cities, that sort of thing.
Shinzu says a Boba Fett, and he also said a Sith RPG would be kind of cool too.
Yep.
Born Distracted said Daz would make a great Han Solo. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. And Daz has been our moderator forever, moderator of the decade, universe, millennial, whatever you want to call him. But I think Daz would love a Sith RPG where the Sith destroy all the beer in the universe.
I don't want to play that game. I need my beer. Strike it off duty, man. I gotta have a beer, bro.
Okay, what do you guys think about this? Imagine if they made an RPG with Princess Leia, kind of like Skyrim, but Princess Leia. Imagine like the weird kind of mods people would make for that game.
Oh God.
Why would they? Why would that even be a game? What are you gonna do with that?
Princess Leia?
You just like walk around and say, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope," for like 50 hours.
Or go in space and turn to Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Well, because remember episode 8, she gets flown into space and she's like, "Nah, bitch, I'm just gonna fly and I'm gonna live." Like, that was so stupid. I watched the fucking Last Jedi like a week or so ago, and I'm just like, why is this a thing? It's just so stupid.
Megatron says Han Solo RPG, and I gotta agree because after seeing the Han Solo movie, I could definitely see them giving him his own RPG kind of thing because he can definitely stand on his own in the Star Wars universe.
Should be Night Sisters video game, because they Vetras from the Clone Wars series, which is canon. She's from there. They made like where Darth Maul was from, Dathomir or whatever. They made another version of Darth Maul type things. Like, they could do so much with them.
Daz,
we're not.
Daz
Go ahead.
wants me to take my comment back, so okay, I'll reverse it for you, Daz. So in my mind, I would think that Daz would want a game where the Sith give all the rebels so much beer so the Sith can just take over the world. They're too busy partying all the time.
And my comment, nothing against female Star Wars fans or characters. I just don't think a Princess Leia RPG would be good. Now, if you put like Rey in an RPG, I'd be all for that. I think she's badass. But
she was the one that was in the desert, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
One that was in the desert.
See, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I know how to quote the characters and where they come from. And she is from the desert. And
we're calling it the desert.
She is a survivor.
I think we're just giving Assassin aneurysms.
The desert. Just rename Jakku the desert.
Well, hey, technically we're not wrong.
It is kind of fun to play those games with Assassin, though, when we're playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm like, oh, the snow map. And he's like, oh, huh? The snow map? What do you mean by the snow map? And I'd be like, oh, how about the space map? He'd be like, clouds.
Space map.
Space map.
He's like, clouds. What are you talking about?
There's a lot of space. I mean, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Siberia says a pod racing versus swoop racing game.
There was a pod racing game. So
yep.
It's on the PS4 at the moment. I played it. It's not. I mean, for an old game, it's not that bad, but it's meh. That pod racing would be like a nice mini game and like an RPG, right? You could build your own pod racer, and, race and earn credits, and race for Java or whatever factions, gain rep in them. That would be cool.
Yeah, I just think the Star Wars universe is so vast and in depth. There's just so much that can be done with it. Like the Star Wars comic books are awesome. I love those. I have so many of them, and I read them all the time. But the games would just be so. I don't know why they don't listen to us. We're like, we want a new KOTOR. Oh, well, you know what you guys really want? You guys want a Titanfall with shooting and Star Wars universe. No. We want KOTOR, a new KOTOR. Oh, but we can get you as a new Battlefront. Oh, okay, that's not. No. We want a new. Like, how hard is it to freaking listen to us? Like, we're telling you what we want. We're telling you what we would buy, and you decide to give us another shooter. I don't think I'll ever understand it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a question for you, Star Wars fans, and the panel and in the chat. If the whole Star Wars universe was to implode and blow up, right, and only one character could survive, and they enter a new universe, which character would you want to survive?
Are we talking Star Wars as in like 4, 5, and 6? Are we talking the entire universe that we have right now, up to date where they are right now? What's the?
I would in any of the movies, right? Movie related ones, in any of the movies, and you can even bring them back to life.
I'll let Assassin go first.
Jar Jar Binks.
And this one's our podcast,
I'm
so we're
kidding
gonna go
there.
ahead and end it here.
I'm just kidding. Because we all know he's the Sith that we've been missing. You know, he's a Sith Lord. He would be great for a new universe. I mean, end of discussion. But I'm kidding. I would like either Obi-Wan Kenobi or Anakin Skywalker. I'm a huge Anakin Skywalker fan.
Oh,
wow, that was you hurt me, Assassin. I feel hurt. I'm hurting.
Why?
Anakin? Really? It's like the worst of the entire Star Wars universe.
You know, I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to agree with Shinzu. I think Han. I think Han's just so badass that he's awesome. Like the guy
Han from episodes 4, 5, and 6, or Han from the most recent iterations?
From the Han Solo movie. Like that personality
young,
Han.
like 20s.
Yeah, that guy.
Early 20s.
And Shinzo agrees with you, Assassin. He likes Anakin.
Anakin is good. He's awesome. You want to have Luke Skywalker or Rey.
Siberius says Ewoks.
Dude, I agree with the Ewoks 100%. It needs to be just an entire world of Ewoks, and we'd be good.
Should just have an Ewok RPG.
Like Leisure Suit Larry. Ewok Leisure Suit Larry RPG.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. I just find those games hysterical. So I think that it would be really funny.
Oh Jesus, that's yeah. Ewoks would be a great choice. I mean, it would be an extremely weird universe after that, but you know, Han is the obvious choice. Ewoks are the cute choice. If you're starting it over,
Skywalker is
the worst choice. Yes, we agree. That's the worst choice. We agree. If we want everyone in the universe just to turn evil and kill a bunch of kids, that's the best choice. But we don't want that because we want a universe to be better. Let's see. Yeah, you know, I don't want to go with the panel here, but I gotta say Han. That's just the most obvious choice, and it's kind of the best choice. I mean, it's just the one that makes the most sense. But I'm not gonna go with the Han from the Solo movie. I'm gonna go with the Han from 4, 5, and 6. I say Wedge Antilles. We should just go with Wedge Antilles and be done with it. That's the that's the finalized choice. Oh God.
Born Distracted said, if Han Solo owned a brewery, it would be called Hanakin.
Because that's what you instead of Anakin, you said Hanakin earlier. So
didn't I?
We're all sold on the. Yeah, I'll have one of the Hanakin lights, please.
Wow. You know, we should trademark that real quick.
Born Distracted is like, I get 50%, you a-holes. Oh God, Hanakin light.
You know, Assassin, I wanted to ask you, have you ever had a chance to read any of the comics from the Star Wars universe at all?
Well, so you sent me a few, I think, like 2 or 3 years ago. When
So the answer's no.
But I'm afraid to because they're in the plastic, right? I'm just so afraid to open them and they'll get ruined. I'm like, they're literally just. I'm looking at them right now. Like I just took them. And,
Yeah, that's called bagged and boarded. That's how you take care of comics. And you put on a pair of white gloves. You open them up. You put the bag and board to the side. You read the comics because the oil on your skin damages comics. And then you finish reading it. You put it back in the bag and board. Seal it back up. Pushed out on the air. Finalize the seal, and then take off the white gloves. It's not that hard to read comics, dude.
White gloves? That sounds very complicated. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it would ruin if you don't put them on, right? So I'm so afraid that would ruin them, that they're just sitting on my shelf full of Star Wars things.
Then you can get them digitally for like $0.99.
Yeah, but that's digitally. It's not as cool as having some physical.
So let me get this straight. You don't want to read them physically because you might damage them, but you don't want to read them on a tablet because you know that's not as fun.
Yeah, it's not as fun. Like I'm one of those people who would rather have a book in their hands than read it on some screen. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's
Why
just
don't you buy
me.
two copies then? One you could destroy and read over and over and over again, and one you can keep sealed.
I mean, that is true.
Well, I think Assassin. Didn't I send you Darth Vader #1?
Here, let me grab them. Just give me a second. Okay, so you got me Darth Vader. #4, you got me Star Wars. Kanan, the Last Padawan, #1, and Vader Down, #1.
Okay.
I have all the first 20, I think, of the Star Wars, or not 20. I'm sorry. Some of them are smaller series, but the Star Wars one I have like the first 20. The Darth Vader one I do. Then they had like smaller series like the Leia, and all. They had like 5 or 6. I have at least the first 5 of each one of them. They're all great series. The artwork is phenomenal.
Yeah, the artists that they pick for those books, I mean, top notch.
So
job.
good.
It is, and it feels like though at the same time they really, and this could just because it's Disney. I mean, it feels like they really try to mass produce these titles and push them out like left and right. Because I remember when I did go looking for them and I got Assassin, those 3 titles at Books A Million, they had like characters.
Bargain bin. Yep.
I never even heard of some of these characters. Like they were like background characters, and I'm like, what? Who's this guy? Who's
that is a problem. That's an issue they had. There a lot of them are in bargain bins now. So if you want to read a good story with great artwork, you can get a lot of them for cheap. But that also killed the collecting aspect of it. I have a few of them. I have a few of the variant covers that are a little rare, but not many of them are very collectible now because they mass produced them. But that's good for people like Assassin or any of the people in the audience who aren't really that deep into collecting but really want to read a good story with good artwork, because these Star Wars comics are great for that. They're not worth a lot, so you're not worried about, you can go to the bargain bin and get like, pay 50 cents to $1 for each one and collect like 20 of them, and you can read an awesome story and have some great artwork that you can read over and over again if you want to, or look at the artwork without having to break the bank. That's the problem. A lot of older comics, you end up having to spend a lot of money. Like Clowns knows, he sees me all the time when I show him the things I buy. You spend a lot of money trying to collect these, because I'm a big comic collector. I've got an entire shelf here full of 2, 3, 4, 5,000 comics. I got tons of them. I'm a huge collector. But you spend a lot of money doing that. But these Star Wars comics are great for the fact of, like Assassin, if you really wanted to start getting into comics and you had these Star Wars things, this is a great place to start because the artwork is phenomenal and the writing gets you hooked from the first panel. And you're not worrying about, oh God, I ripped a page. Okay, well, that's 50 cents. Go order a new one on eBay. You're not losing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do go back. The Darth Vader ones, though, I don't think they really mass-produced those. Because when I go back looking for some of the older stuff, I don't see a lot of Darth Vader anymore.
Yeah, the side characters, they didn't mass-produce as much, but, it's still something that's not terribly hard to find. If you go to like eBay or something, you can find what you're looking for. Yeah, if anyone ever wants to talk comics, you can find me on Twitter. That's what I love. I collect so much, and I follow trends. Like, I buy comics on the quote unquote cheap now because I know they're going to skyrocket later. Like I bought a Shazam #1 for 100 and something a couple years ago because I saw they copyrighted the movie, and now it's worth like 500. And it's from like the 60s. I love doing this. This is what I spend hours a day just searching on eBay and stuff like this because I love little things like this.
Yep. Well, it's been almost an hour already, so before we got to end the stream, I wanted to ask you guys, who do you think would win in a fight? Han Solo and his Millennium Falcon versus... what was that thing they drove in Star Trek Next Generation? USS?
The Enterprise?
Yeah, the Enterprise. Who do you think would win in a fight?
Well, it depends. Where do you stand on the parsec? Because that is a unit of measure, not a time. But he says he ran the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. That's like a mile. So he ran it in 12 miles. What? So where do you stand on that debate? Depends on what you think that could win or not. Because a parsec is a measurement not of distance, not of speed. So is it faster?
See, I don't even know when we get into the parsec what that means. I'm just thinking of pure brute firepower.
I'd have to say Enterprise if you're going pure brute firepower.
You think so? You really think?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think so. I'm not a Star Trek fan, but I think if you're going pure brute power, I think you got to go the Enterprise.
I would think like Chewbacca could sneak his way in the Enterprise and just kill everybody.
Well, I'm not asking for. You didn't ask for background espionage. You asked which ship would win in a fight, and you said Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon. You didn't say Han Solo and Chewbacca. I mean, you can't be doing both now.
All right. Okay. You're right. So Millennium Falcon with Han Solo, Chewbacca, and R2-D2 versus everybody on the USS Enterprise. I
agree with Daz. The Next Generation, I have to. Yeah, I'm with the Next Generation thing there. I agree.
You think so? I could picture R2-D2 sneaking on there, just kicking everybody.
You didn't say R2-D2.
I did.
You can't be dropping.
Okay, what the Millennium Falcon crew versus the Enterprise crew? That means then everyone that would be on the Millennium Falcon.
Hey, that's different. But I think the Star Trek. I think the Enterprise has a lot more futuristic things on it than the Millennium Falcon. I mean, think about they sneak Chewbacca in and they send him to the virtual reality room. So he's like in there trying to explore this entire cavern, and he's just stuck in this room. They've got things and ways to fight enemies that they don't have on the Millennium Falcon, which is just brute force and lasers.
I guess, but I would just think that R2-D2 and Chewbacca would sneak on the USS Enterprise somehow. And just cause havoc, just walking around causing havoc.
I love how you're like the Millennium Falcon and Han Solo. Yeah, but what about Chewbacca? What about the lightsabers? You can't keep adding things.
the training droid that was in episode 4.
The training droid tips the scale. Yep, the training droid tips the scale. You're absolutely correct. That's what tips the scale here.
I mean, Captain Kirk could choke on Han Solo's dice that he has behind him.
So we got some things in the chat on this already. So Fastback says the Millennium Falcon crew snuck on the Death Star. He's got a good point. Yeah, I mean he's got a good point, right? And then Siberius says the Borg would destroy the Empire before the Jedi.
Well, yeah, Borg would destroy them all. You're talking ship to ship. I'd have to go Enterprise, just personally. But I'm not even a Star Trek fan very much. I think it's got way more futuristic stuff, way more. Yeah, it's just me.
Well, guys, we have come up past that hour, and I want to thank everybody for watching the stream. We definitely appreciate it. Click that like button, smash that like button, share this thing everywhere. Assassin, aka the Sith Lord of the Universe, came on today and blessed us with his presence.
So did you just call him Jar Jar Binks?
No. Like the Darth Vader kind, like the badass kind with the...
Hey, I have my own castle, so you can go...
Well, Assassin, I know that you're on our parent podcast, but where can people find you?
Twitter at ZPCI_assassin, I think. Don't quote me. Yep, it is. I just love. So you can find me there or Twitch. Every day, well, mostly every day at 10:30 a.m. Central Time to 2. I'm streaming games. I don't know what games. Currently, I'm doing the Uncharted series from 1 to Lost Legacy. And then I'll do a bunch of other things. Who knows what? I don't even know what. So yeah, you can find me there. So
you could do KOTOR next. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's a possibility. Who knows? I mean, we'll see.
And don't forget, Assassin is a Twitch affiliate as well. So if you want to support him, he's a Twitch affiliate. And Maverick, go ahead and give yourself a shout out.
You can find me on Twitter, Maverick41170. Xbox, Maverick 2474. I'm always looking for people to play with. Same with PlayStation. And always you can find us at Four Guys with Quarters Presents. It's where we'll be.
Yep, and you can find us as well as fourguyswithquarters.com. Starting a new site for us as well. Other stuff's going down in the works. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, all that other good stuff. And yeah, this is Clowns officially signing off. And I'm hitting that end stream button now.
Peace.